Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, to the Jay's Family's channel. And today we are going to talk about the reason he left us. Good morning, you guys. Well, actually, good afternoon. Welcome back to our channel, to the Jay's Family's channel. So today I'm going to talk about our previous video, the last one I put, where it says the first time he's flying with us. And I'm going to talk about the reason we were actually flying for the first time together. And that was because he had left us for 3 years. Don't start thinking wrong. It's not because we got separated, he did something bad. That's not the reason. So he had to leave for 3 years, well, 2 years and 11 months, for purposes that he was in immigration process. It was very unexpected and it was very hard for us. But it happens. Things happen. Nothing is the way you guys think it is. So the reason he left for so long was because he had his interview, because he was in the process of fixing his papers, and he got denied. It took him about 9 months. Well, he was in process here like about a year, less than a year. It was so easy. He thought, he was very confident that he was gonna go to Mexico, because he had to leave to Mexico to Ciudad Juarez and then come back. And he thought, he was very confident that he was going to go and then come back just within a few days. It didn't happen. He goes, he has his interview, and surprise is, he is denied. He got denied for about 9 months. That's what we thought. But in reality, they put it was 10 months. Sorry, 10 years. We were so confused. We didn't know what to do. We thought he was going to be there for about 10 years. And he was like, no, he was in denial. He's like, no, I'm going to be here for only 9 months. He's like, I'm going to do my physical exam again, and then I'm gonna go back in 9 months. It did not happen. So let me talk about what happened. So he goes to his interview, he gets denied, and he wasn't shocked. He was like, why am I getting denied? I have everything. No reason for me to be here. In his head, he was thinking. So we took him. It was in June of 2015. He goes. We go to TJ. He was on a flight from TJ to Ciudad Juarez. He goes, I'm having a little bit of pain. I'm like, okay, let's go to a pharmacy. You know, like any other pharmacy, you can go get like medication, right? In TJ. He goes, and he's like, we tell the pharmacist, you know, what's going on. He's having a little bit of symptoms of something else. And he's like, oh, you know, I have a medication. I'm going to give it to you guys. I'm like, okay, good. And then he's like, I also have a natural medication. I'm like, oh, can I have the natural one? And he's like, yeah, do you want the other one? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll get it. So I tell Adrian, just take the natural medication. You are not able to take anything before that we know of, and this was not something that we knew, but I mean, it's common sense. We got never told by the lawyer. And also be careful if you guys are in process of immigration. Who do you guys get as a lawyer, and why? Because so many times they guide you the wrong information. Like we were never told that, you know, you cannot take medication for more than like 1-2 months before your interview. So that happened. So Adrian, you know, I gave Adrian his medication, but you know, guys are stubborn. He took both of the medications. When he told me that he was denied, I was like, what did you do? What happened? He's like, well, they told me they found controlled medication in my system. I'm like, did you take the medication I told you you weren't supposed to? He's like, yes. And I'm like, why? Why on earth did you take it? You know, I was very shocked. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, you failed me. You know, I told you for a reason not to take it. You know, the natural medication, it was, you know, it's natural. But when you guys go to get your physical exam, you guys get tested. Everything comes out in the blood. I mean, don't think you guys are going to cheat the system. You guys are not going to, everything comes out. You know, you're like, oh, I'm very confident nothing's going to come out. Yes, it does. It does. So, you know, he had to leave to where he's from. His paper said that he could take again his physical exam within 9 months, and then from there we were going to proceed. He goes, takes his physical exam, and that was after what, 9, 10, like about 9 to 10 months after. And he goes to his interview again, and they told, well, actually he didn't have an interview that time that I remember. He just sent his physical exam, they reviewed it, and then I contacted the embassy, and I told them, is he gonna have another interview? What's going on? Or blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, he's not gonna have another interview because he's missing a waiver. The waiver is the perdón. And I'm like, excuse me, he does have it. And they're like, it's not in our system. Another thing that I felt hopeless, it was very like, what do you mean you guys don't have it? He took everything. So the guys are like, so you do have it? So the representative that I was talking to, he's like, you do have it? I'm like, of course I do have it. He took it. He's like, unfortunately, there's nothing on his file. He's like, there is his account or his file, the one we have here, it's blank. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, he took all the paperwork. He's like, yeah, but there's nothing here that it says that we have it. And I'm like, well, don't you guys work with immigration, blah, blah, blah? Like, I'm so confused. He's like, there's things that we have, there's things that we work with. Not everything is together. So very nicely, he told me, you can send the waiver that it's approved, that you guys have, that it's approved, send it to us. And from there, we're going to see like what's going on. I contacted my lawyer and I told them, you know, by that time I had a different lawyer because the first one that I have was very, the time that he got denied, I went back to him and I told him, you know what, this is what they gave him, because they give you a paper with the denial and then they put like codes, so why is the reason that he gets denied. He took, one said that he was denied for denied for 9 months, and the other one said that he was denied for 10 years, that he was ineligible to come back within 10 years to the United States. And he told me, well, you know, he's not going to be able to come back in 10 years. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, can you do anything? He's like, no. And he sent me to another lawyer, and the other lawyer told me, you know what, I can fight for him to come back with the court and everything, but you have to pay $5,000. And I'm like, but do you guarantee me that he's gonna come back, that you're gonna fight, and then you're gonna, when you appeal, that you're gonna win this? And he's like, I can guarantee you nothing. And when something like that, you know, like, you're thinking, like, you're charging me $5,000 and you can't guarantee me nothing? No. My experience, I tell you guys, look somewhere else. Go to other lawyers. You know, find out good information. You know, go to different lawyers. You know, sometimes they have free consultations. You know, after that, I went to see like 3 more lawyers. 3 to 4. And I was, you know, like, one of the other lawyers told me the same thing, that he can fight, blah, 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 this and that. He can be here like within a month. You know, it seemed too good to be true. So I went to other lawyers, and then they told me like what was going on. And 2 of them they told me we have to send the waiver back to immigration. They have to review his chart. And then from there, he can have another interview. You know, so I'm like, okay, let's take it by that. So the other lawyer that I had, she sent everything. She sent everything, because there's different lawyers, you know, wherever you guys go, you guys are gonna see like, oh, you know, they have one lawyer for this, they have the representative for this, you know, different people work within their offices. So she sends everything to the embassy. You know, it took us like within a month. You know, I was very anxious to find out if he was gonna have another interview, what was going on. So I called the embassy, and they told me, you know what, unfortunately, this waiver that you sent us, it got annullated. It's no longer valid. He needs a new one. And I'm like, are you serious? And they're like, yes, he does. And I'm like, but isn't it the same one? They're like, no, there's different waivers for different reasons. It's almost the same one, but the one that you're gonna send now, it's for basically he has to send the waiver to ask to be forgiven because what he did. To be forgiven for the reason that he took controlled medication. And I'm like, okay. We do that. Everything had to be sent all over again. Basically, we had to start all over from the beginning. His process took everything that had to be done, everything. I had to send letters. I had to collect information again since the beginning, like from the beginning. It took about 3 months for us to have all these things ready, and then they sent it. They're like, the process is going to start all over again. And guys, I'm gonna recommend you guys, if you guys are immigration or like you guys know someone, to look, to do research, to go to Yelp, go to whatever, research the lawyer that you guys are gonna hire, because the one that I hired the second time was giving me so many runarounds. I will call, and I would do basically most of the work when it was their job. And yes, I did it because, you know, it's something like it's very stressful to have someone far and you have kids. I have 2 kids. They were so small that time. He left a 1.5 years and a 3-year-old behind. And I will call like crazy to the embassy almost every month, or every week, like to find out like how is the process going, is there something else that we need to send, blah blah blah. Because I mean, literally that was the lawyer's job, but sometimes I thought like they were not doing their job. They told me, oh, you're gonna get a confirmation once we receive the packet. That happened within, let's say they told me they were gonna send a packet in August, and I'm like, oh, maybe by September they'll have it. I call her, I'm like, hey, have you received anything? Okay, September passed, October, November, until November. I'm like, you know what's going on? I have not received any confirmation that they received his packet. So I took initiative. I called the embassy and they're like, you know what? We don't have anything. And I'm like, what do you mean? She told me she sent everything. They're like, I'm sorry, but we don't have anything. I call back the lawyer and, they give me a BS story. Oh, like they sent his case to the wrong office, it's in the lockbox, blah blah blah. I call back and I'm like, I told the guy, I'm like, you know what, this is going on, this is what I've been told. And he's all like, no, you're getting the wrong information from your lawyer. And I'm like, are you serious? And I'm like, she told me it's in the lockbox. That's not possible. They told me because if it's in the lockbox, it would appear in our system. And I'm like, can I tell you what's like the lockbox? And he's like, basically it's where the charts are stored to be viewed later, or whatever the reason is, that's why they're there. But basically they're locked, they cannot be reviewed, blah blah blah. So I call back and I tell them, you know what is going on, this and that. I had to be on their feet, like stepping them, like basically, like, I don't know if I make sense, but yeah. I had to be on top of them. Be like, I need answers. That's why I'm paying you. Yes, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one that has a case with them. There's a lot of people within the US or anywhere else that are in the same situation that I was. And sure enough, they tell me, oh, I don't know what happened, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna find out. Let me call, this and that. And I'm like, you know what? You find out, or I don't know what I'm gonna do. Because that's not right what you guys are doing. So that happened. And then within December, I got a notice that they'd receive his packet and it was going to be in process of reviewing. It was literally 3 months that happened that she wasted, the lawyer, without giving me an answer. So, he was there in Mexico. The case took his second waiver for it to be reviewed, because it goes based on dates when they receive it. They have to review so many charts, so many cases. It took about a year and 3 months, 15 months to get his second waiver approved. It was the longest time ever. Literally, my kids were not in school at that time. There was times where I will send my kids to Mexico with their dad so I can get help. Yes, I do have my family here. They do help, but their kids need the parents. they were so small. And it's like, how do you explain to a kid that they can't see their dad for months? I'm sorry, guys. Sorry, guys, but I remember, and it's something that I do not wish someone will go through. It's very hard. There's things that not a lot of people knew about that I was going through. I couldn't sleep at night. I had to go to therapy. I would get off work early and I would go to counseling. They, the therapist would tell me, like, some things happen for a reason. Don't take it in the wrong way. Like, just think about, why is it happening? Why do you think it's happening to you? But sometimes it's like so much pressure on you. I will go to school, I will work, I had my kids, they were small, and it's like, so, it's hard. But she would tell me, like, things happen for a reason, and maybe this is happening to you because God knows that you're a strong woman. And I'm like, there's so much you guys can take. And she's like, yes, but for a reason it happens. And yes, things happen for a reason. I would tell my husband, and he's like, yes, things do happen for a reason. While he was gone, he said he realized so many things. And people do realize so many things. Sometimes we think we have everything, but that's not true. Don't take things for granted, because one thing, you can wake up and everything can be gone the next day. So he will call me. I will feel so hopeless at times, because he will call me and he'll be like, hey, you know what? I don't know what to do. I just feel like leaving. I need to cross over like the same time that I went, like any other immigration. Everybody has, he will tell me, like, I will go the same. I want to leave the first time that I left, like the first time that I left, like anybody else who has a dream to come to the US. And I'm like, no, like, don't do it. I'm like, you're in a process, you get caught, you're gonna be there for a longer time, blah blah blah. And he's like, but I feel hopeless here, I feel like frustrated, I can't be over there, like there's so many things. And I'm like, no, like, for a reason you're there. Like, you have to take life for granted, like take day by day. Like, I would tell him, like, falta más que ayer. Like, it's hard, you guys. It's really hard. Luckily, thankfully, I'm glad that he's here now. It took him 3 years. After his waiver was approved, he got his interview, and luckily he was approved. And now he's here. He is very appreciative. He's very confident that he has so many things in the future ahead. He wants to do so many things now. He's like, I thought that things could be done the way I wanted, but I learned that no, things cannot be done the way that we want. Sometimes it's hard, like, you know, especially you guys, there's a lot of guys, meaning guys, men, that things that you guys think that, oh, you know, I'm a man, I can do this, I can do whatever I want, like, oh, whatever I say, it's gonna be done, or, oh yeah, like, I think I'm always right. No, you're not. When someone tells you, like, you know, oh, this and that, like, or don't do this, or like, I'm telling you this because of a good reason, listen to the people that are telling you stuff. I would tell my husband so many things, and I'm like, you know what? You think that you can do things that, you know, you can do whatever you want, like, nobody's gonna, but no. He had to learn the hard way. And the hard way for him to learn was that he had to be in Mexico for 3 years. He learned, he's like, you know what? I am very sad that this happened, but at the same time, it does happen for a reason. So now that we fly together, he feels so happy, and he tells me, like, when we were flying, he's like, I feel good. And I'm like, why? I didn't show my expression at that time, but I understand him. We will go to Mexico, like, my kids and we will fly, the 3 of us together by ourselves. And it was so hard to come back. When we used to come back to see him stay. And this time that we flew together, he's like, I actually feel good because I am going with you guys to Mexico and I'm coming back. And I'm not staying. Sorry, guys. So even the kids felt good that he was coming back. They're like, oh, Dad, you're not staying no more. Like, you're actually coming back with us. Like, now our family is complete. So I'm gonna end this video here, you guys, and thank you for watching us. And like I said, if you guys know someone that's going through this, if you guys know someone who is going through this, or if you guys know someone who went through this, you guys can relate. If you guys know someone that's going through this or is going through, you know, whatever they're going through, you know, always support them. They would always need someone. And, you know, if you guys need someone to talk to, you guys can talk to, you know, family, friends. And I know a lot of you guys don't feel comfortable talking to family or friends. You know, there's counseling out there. There's so many, you know, ways you guys can communicate with people. You know, like social media has like forums. There's pages where you can go online, talk to someone. You know, you guys are not by yourself. Seek for help. You know, I'm not saying that I went through depression, because I don't think I did, but I just went through a lot of stress. And I know a lot of people like this can relate. And a lot of people go through depression. And let me tell you guys, depression is it's not very good. I do see a lot of people who are depressed that has, you know, they go through a lot of things. They do things that they're not supposed to because they think that they cannot talk to someone. And that's not true. You know, look for help. Look for someone who can actually guide you, listen to you. If you guys need more information, I am glad to give you information. Just comment, send me a message, wherever I can help you guys. I know a lot of resources that they're willing to help you, where you can get information. And like I said, thank you guys for watching this. And I'll see you till next time. And please don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you till next time.